Welcome to the Bible Forum. It is November 4th, 2018. Halloween's over. Got by us just a couple of days back, 4 or 5 days ago. But I wanted to share something with you about Halloween. How it has perhaps become a problem for the leftists. Bill Maher, you know Bill Maher, liberal leftist talk show host, recently pointed to what he calls a liberal trap when it comes to Halloween. This from ChristianHeadlines.com. He is reported to have said, quote, "The office of scolding social justice warriors has decreed no hula girls, no Indian chiefs, no Southern belles, no Daniel Boone, no geishas, ninjas, gypsies, mobsters, terrorists, and no Cleopatra as Halloween costumes. You see, pirates offend one-eyed people. You can't dress up as a hobo because it makes light of the homeless. You can't dress as Quasimodo because it offends hunchbacks. You can't dress as an escaped mental patient because it offends Kanye West." That was not nice. Kanye West, when we talked about a couple of weeks ago, he was in the office of the president and he waxed eloquent about how wonderful all this stuff is that Trump is doing and on. And I told you that he has a mental disorder. He has a condition. And this is what was driving that. He was in a manic phase. But he was good. I mean, I play it again, Sam. Well, in the last week or so, Kanye has denounced his support for Donald Trump. He says that he was deceived. Who deceived him? Look a little closer and the truth starts to creep out through the cracks. Since he did that, his clothing line has suffered financial losses. Offers to work, entertainment, and the like have gotten a little less proficient out there. His friends not only just backing off, they're going after him. And I say so much for commitment to reality. But Maher also pointed to outrage over the recent sexy Handmaid's Tale costume that costume vendors and retailers yanked from shelves because people were outraged by what they called the ironic take of a character that doesn't exist from a fictional world that never happened. Now, not having seen the costume, I'm still betting it was about modesty. But Maher went on saying not everything that merely alludes to another culture is racist or culturally inappropriate. Halloween has always been fun because it wasn't politically correct. Not being PC was almost the whole point of the holiday, but now everything has to be turned into a federal case of snowflakes versus humor. He went on to point to a study that reveals 80% of Americans were completely turned off by the PC culture. You would not know that watching the news. The majority of America is with the Democrats on the issues. They just find the woke people, those are the people who have completely sold out to PC, liberal, and modest philosophies, they find the woke people irritating, Maher said. Nobody likes you, including the so-called marginalized groups whose feelings you decide need protecting. And when did the liberals become the fun police? Did anybody remember when it was the conservatives? We went from yes we can to oh no you didn't. Bill Maher. But Bill Maher is something of a political enigma. Politically, Maher doesn't want to be put in any categories. He calls himself a politically practical person. At the same time, he seems to be offended by the use of the word liberal. He seems to see it as a derogatory term. Now, Maher sits on the board of directors of, quote, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, end of quote. He endorsed Kerry over Bush for president, as well as Obama. He gave $1 million to Obama's 2012 campaign. Oh, and he opposed the Iraq War. You know, the one where ISIS was killing everybody in sight and threatening to dominate the Middle East and destroy Israel. You remember those people? At the same time, Maher is an outspoken advocate for Western values. And I say, you can't have it both ways, Bill. Bill said, I'm someone who believes in the values that Western people believe in that a lot of the Muslim world does not, like separation of church and state. How do we pick that one out? You know, like equality of the sexes. Of course, he meant genders. Like respect for minorities, free elections, free speech, freedom to gather. These things are not just different from cultures that don't have them, they're better. Bill says, I'd like to keep those values here. Well, I got a news flash for Mr. Bill. These are largely all biblical values. You know, the principles of Western civilization, and it comes with rules. Rules like, thou shalt not murder unborn children in the womb. Thou shalt not lie, cheat, steal. Thou shalt not spend more money than you take in. Thou shalt not tax people into poverty. Thou shalt not tell people how they can talk, walk, and vote. It comes with a healthy appreciation, a healthy respect for the one true God of the universe, meaning, thou shalt not take his name in vain. I can't imagine he likes that. And he does get the last say. Like not glorifying public nudity, meaning demeaning the human form, making it something that it was not intended to be, not changing the immutable laws of nature and of God. However, to adopt all these, quite honestly, biblical values would be considered intrusive by the liberal crowd. They would be considered a violation of our basic freedoms. You know, the freedom to be ignorant and profane. Yeah.